Have you ever wondered how many stocks you should have in your portfolio? When to add to your existing position or even when to sell? What's the right balance? I mean, is there any framework that I can use to create my portfolio? Guess what? There is a framework out there that you can use to create and maintain your portfolio. In this video, I'm going to discuss exactly that framework, which consists of 6 principles on how to build your portfolio and also how to maintain it or nourish it or grow it. These 6 principles are given by Mr. David Gardner from Motley Fool. And if you want to listen to the original podcast, I will mention the link of the podcast down in the description. It's an 1 hour podcast and is really good. I would highly recommend you to listen to this. But if you do not have that much time at your hand, then this video will give you a good summary of what David has shared in his podcast. With that said, let's start. Hi everyone, I'm Ankit from Master Investment, where we seek to be better investors than before. David Gardner has listed 6 principles. First 3 principles will help you in creating or building your stock portfolio. Last 3 principles will help you in maintaining or nourishing or even growing your stock portfolio. First principle is make your portfolio reflect your best vision for our future. I'll repeat again, make your portfolio reflect your best vision for our future. This line made me rethink and review my existing portfolio. After listening to this, I re-examined how my portfolio should look like and how it serves my vision of the world I want to live in future. I think it's really important, and most of us, including me, we don't think this way. Most of us are here to make money, and we are so focused on making money that we never thought like we should invest in companies that are realizing our vision of the future world we want to live in. I mean, at least I never had a vision of what type of world I want to live in future. Yes, sometimes I talk to myself and my friends and say, wouldn't it be nice if we had this so that we don't have to do this anymore? Well, you can realize your vision or your childhood dream by investing your money in companies that are working on to make it a reality. So I would say, think over this principle and write down what is your vision for our future, and accordingly look for companies and invest in them. To give you an example, my vision for the future is that we can do anything to everything on your mobile phones. No need to go to the offices anymore, or if I want to get my passport renewed or visit a doctor or want to attend a conference or interview, I don't have to be physically present there or stand in line. I can simply log into my mobile app and would be able to do all these things online. I think we are already very close to it. However, there are still many things that are not yet digital or online. So my vision for the future is that everything is digital, and this is what also reflects in my current portfolio. Another way that can help you in understanding this is, let's say your goal is to have $1 million portfolio. You have reached that goal. Now what will you do with that money? Yes, you were focused on earning that money, but now you have that money. Where would you like to spend it? David Gardner said, I hope that you will spend and invest that money in companies that are constantly shaping the future and making it better for you, your kids, and everyone around you. Basically, money that is invested in a portfolio is reflecting in a lot of ways how you spend your money towards the world that you want to live in. There are different ways to look at it. If someone who loves smoking, then investing in a tobacco company like Philip Morris or any other tobacco company makes complete sense. Yes, all of us know that it causes harm and is also well documented. However, it's up to you, and you have to decide what harms you believe are truly toxic and what harms you actually invite willingly into your body. There are many examples like these. Some people would not like to invest in companies which are weapons manufacturers, as weapons causes war and destruction. However, some may say, I want to invest in these companies because they contribute in keeping my country, my family safe and gives them a sense of security. So it really depends on how different people see and perceive things, and there is no right or wrong here. At the end, it's up to you. What you think or believe is truly toxic and things you willingly invite in your life by spending your money or by investing your money. So this was the first principle. Your portfolio should reflect your best vision for our future. Now comes the principle 2. Principle 2 is name the purpose of your stock portfolio and will there be new money coming in or not. So David Gardner has placed 2 things in this principle. First, name the purpose of your stock portfolio, and second, whether new money would be coming in your portfolio or not. So let's discuss the purpose of your stock portfolio. By purpose of your stock portfolio, David Gardner means you should know why you are creating this portfolio at the first place. Is it to turn your grandson onto investing for the first time? Is this your nest egg that you are growing very carefully? Or is this just a fun portfolio where you are experimenting, throwing cryptocurrencies or any growth stock or penny stocks just to have some fun, learn, speculate, and have a good time? At the end of the day, you have to name the purpose of your stock portfolio, and you can even have multiple portfolios. For example, I have 3 different portfolios. One portfolio is growth portfolio, in which I buy companies that are innovating amazing digital solutions. Another portfolio is value and dividend portfolio, in which I invest in ignored companies in slow growth market with great fundamentals. And last, the third one is the cryptocurrency or a fund portfolio, which I consider as my insurance policy against our current financial system in case it goes bust. Also, these principles are just there to guide you, and you can always adapt these principles according to your needs. You can even add new principles or modify the ones that we are discussing right now. The main advantage of naming the purpose or even giving a name to your portfolio is most of the time it happens that we lose track of the original purpose when we started to create this portfolio. It happened with me. Recently, we have seen that the crypto market has done really well, and my crypto portfolio has also done really well, because of which I got distracted from the original purpose of my portfolio and the system that I have created to run that portfolio and started speculating. But because I had the system and the purpose defined at the beginning of creating this portfolio, I reflected back and I realized that I have been distracted and I need to take some actions. So the stock portfolio's purpose acts like a North Star or a reminder, and it helps you to stay grounded during the time of high volatility. I mean, it stopped me from speculating like crazy and divert away from my original goal. But this does not mean that your purpose cannot evolve with time. I mean, time is changing continuously and change is the only constant. So with time, after 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, you realize that you should evolve your purpose or change the purpose a bit, then it's perfectly fine to do that. The second part of principle 2 is whether the new money is coming in or not. Second part is really important because whether new money is coming in or not really defines how your portfolio will look like. If you are someone who is young and has a whole life ahead of him or her, and you know that the new money is coming in every month or week or quarter, then you can take more risk and can hold on to your investments longer as compared to someone who is at the age of retirement or is already retired and have no new money coming in. Therefore, decide for yourself whether you should be putting in new money or not in any particular portfolio. Like I said, you can have multiple portfolios and you may decide at some point in time, okay, now in this portfolio, I will not be adding any new money. Like for me, I have decided right now that I will not be adding any new money in my cryptocurrency portfolio. Similarly, decide for yourself whether new money would be coming in or not in your stock portfolio. So principle 2 is name the purpose and decide whether new money is coming in or not. Next is principle 3, which is giving a fair starting line to all your investments or stocks. So what does that mean? David Gardner has used the analogy of horse racing, which actually really explains it well. So I'll be using the same analogy which David Gardner has used. The analogy is at the start of the race, all the horses are at the same starting line and have the same track to run on, which means all the horses have the fair starting point and they all have to start at the same time. Now, how this analogy maps to the stocks that you are buying. When you are starting your portfolio, it's important that you allocate equal amount of money in each stock. What does that mean? Let's say you are starting your portfolio, and according to David Gardner, when you are beginning with your stock portfolio, you should have at least 20 stocks in your portfolio. This means if you are investing 1,000 or your portfolio right now worth $1,000, then you will buy 20 stocks and each stock will worth $50. As we now able to buy fractions of shares, therefore it is now possible to buy 20 shares even with only $100 or $200 sum. This equal allocation of money in each stock gives every stock a fair starting point. Over time, in 1 year, 2 years or 6 years, different stocks will perform differently and their percentage allocation in your portfolio will be different. But it's okay. You gave every stock a fair starting line and now you will see how they are going forward. So principle 3 is giving every stock a fair starting line, and at the beginning you should have at least 20 stocks or 5% of total amount allocated in every stock. Now we have discussed the first 3 principles. They will help you create your stock portfolio. Now let's discuss next 3 principles which will help you in maintaining or nurturing your stock portfolio. Principle 4 says define your sleep number. What does that mean? It means how much money or how much percentage of your portfolio you can invest in a single stock and can still have a sound sleep. For example, let's say your sleep number is 80. That means you can allocate 80% of your portfolio in one stock. So if your portfolio is of $1,000, then you are fine to allocate $800 in one particular stock. Similarly, if your portfolio is of $100,000 or $1 million, then investing $80,000 or $800,000 in a single stock does not make you uneasy or lose your sleep. Well, everyone have different sleep number. If your sleep number is 1, that means you are not willing to invest or allocate more than 1% of your portfolio in any single stock. This is mostly the case with people who invest in index funds and their sleep number is usually low. But these principles are not for people who invest in index funds. It is for people like you and me who want to invest in their vision of the world in future. Now, my sleep number is 5, which means I can allocate maximum 5% of my portfolio's worth in one single stock. Not only that, my sleep number is even different for different portfolios. For my growth portfolio, which have 40 stocks in it, my sleep number is 5. For my value and dividend portfolio, in which I have 17 stocks, my sleep number is 10. And for the cryptocurrency portfolio or the insurance policy portfolio, my sleep number is 30. So you can have multiple portfolios with different visions or purpose, and they can have different sleep numbers. There's another way to determine number of stocks you can have in your portfolio. It is Gardner-Kratzman continuum. According to Gardner-Kratzman continuum, number of stocks in your portfolio corresponds with the age of the investor. So if you are someone who is 20 years old, then the number of stocks in your portfolio can be 20. If you are someone who is 54 years old, then the number of stocks in your portfolio can be 54. It's just a rough idea, or you can say a guideline, or just a hint that you can use to see how many stocks you can have. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how many stocks you have. What matters is what percentage each stock contributes to your portfolio. For example, there could be 2 portfolios, each having 50 stocks in total. However, in one portfolio, 80% of the portfolio is allocated to a single stock and the rest, 20%, is distributed among 49 stocks. On the other hand, there is another portfolio where each stock contributes 2% to the whole portfolio. Now, both portfolios have same number of stocks, however, they are totally different. One is more risky and another is more balanced. Therefore, it does not matter how many stocks you have in your portfolio. What matters is what percentage each stock contributes in your whole portfolio. Hence, establish your sleep number. Now, coming to 5th principle. Principle 5 says, good news, you get to invest through the whole race. Here, David Gardner continues his analogy of horse racing. In the horse racing, you have to bet at the start of the race and you cannot bet during the race. In the investing world, you give your stocks a fair start by allocating an equal amount in each stock. However, when the race starts, you can see which stock is performing better than the others, and accordingly you can invest more in your winning stock. This is where the change in mindset comes. Most of the people, when their stock is doing really well and has doubled in its valuation, they tend to sell it. However, here Mr. Gardner is saying, instead of selling your winners, invest more in it. That's why the analogy of horse racing really helps you understand this shift in mindset. So for example, if you are on a racetrack and are allowed to bet throughout the race, will you be betting on the horse which is way ahead of other horses, or will you be betting on a horse which is coming last? So keep this analogy in mind, and next time when one of your winners is doing good, invest more in it throughout the race. I know you must be wondering how to know when the race will end or when to sell your winners. There are different answers to that question based on your portfolio's purpose and situation. Watch this video to know more about this topic, and I'll be creating another separate video on how to know when to sell your stock based on your purpose and situation. This brings us to our last principle, which is principle 6, to review your portfolio quarterly and then manage accordingly. Mr. Gardner says that we should review our stock portfolio every quarter. Not every day, not every month, but every quarter. According to him, it seems to be a fair amount of time. You can even have a blocker in your calendar every quarter where you sit and review your portfolio. You can check which stocks are doing good and which stocks are not doing so well. Or maybe you want to reallocate your position in any of the stocks, or you want to change or evolve your portfolio's purpose. I mean, whatever changes you want to make, this is the time when you make it. Therefore, principle 6 is to review your stock portfolio quarterly and then manage accordingly. These are the 6 principles that David Gardner has shared in his podcast. I would highly recommend you to listen to that podcast. I would also like to say here that I am a member of Motley Fool community and they are not paying me anything to make this video, although I won't mind if they pay me, but I would recommend you to check Motley Fool's website and give them a try. So to summarize, here are the 6 principles. Your portfolio reflects your best vision for our future. Name its purpose and will there be new money coming in or not? Give your stocks a fair starting line. Establish your sleep number. You get to invest through the whole race. Review quarterly and manage accordingly. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit that like button because it tells me that you liked the video and want me to create more videos like this in future.